Ladies and gentlemen, federal workers and injured federal workers, Riverdale Wellness proudly presents to you the Injured Federal Workers Podcast. Good afternoon, everybody, and how are we today? Welcome to the Injured Federal Workers Podcast, coming to you directly from the Riverdale Wellness Studios. First take, I got it. Thank you, everyone. No laughing, okay? So here's the story. Today's workshop episode topic is going to be on the paperwork, or continued paperwork on filing it, okay? Why do I want to focus on that? I want to focus on that because you have to learn how to do something. You have to be self-sufficient, reliant on yourself to make sure things are getting done properly, okay? So let us begin. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're going to get right to the nitty-gritty of it, okay? Here we go, people. Okay, here we go. So, as you can see, we are on the Department of Labor's website, owcpmed.dol.gov. Okay, that is the portal for everything that is Department of Labor. Okay, so number one, you have a case, you got injured, you go here, right? You can log in as a claimant. Okay, providers can log in here too. Okay, there are resources here, questions and answers and forms. Find a provider. I mentioned that you can find a provider on their website. So if you don't know where to go and you live in Tennessee, you can go here. Okay. So again, the purpose here is to educate and inform. I hope I entertain you along the way. And that's the purpose of this website. So I'm going to close this out because it went there, as I had done it before, making sure that I didn't have any hiccups this morning. I go for a login. You're a claimant. You're going to want to log in. Okay? So you click on it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go, people. FICA. You're going to select FICA. FICA is postal workers or other federal employees, right? So you're going to click on FICA. Watch this. Watch this. And it takes you to Ecomp. What is Ecomp? What is Ecomp? What is Ecomp? Ecomp is the following, people. Ecomp is the way you upload your documents to the Department of Labor and your claims examiner. That is Ecomp. So Ecomp allows you to upload documents or to sign in and create an account for yourself. You could track your documents that you uploaded and so forth. Everything is here for you to log in because they are your documents. Remember I said to you in a previous episode, well, I go to the doctor, and you got to read that narrative to make sure that the doctor told the history the way it apparently was told to him by you. Make sure you proofread it, and then you can upload all the documents to the Department of Labor here, okay? If you are a federal employee, you may also file a claim for benefits under the FICA. Depending upon your agency, start by filling out the forms, okay? After you received an official FICA case number, you may also file CA7 claim for compensation, okay? We're going to get to CA7 in a minute, okay? But that is the next step. So, just to summarize for everyone out there, okay? I'm going to stop sharing. I like to see myself. Anyway, let's just review, okay? What is it that we want to know, people? We have a couple things. One, empower yourself. Two, how do I empower myself? There is a website called Ecomp. How do you get to it? First, you go to owcpmed.dol.gov. That lends you to the portal for FICA, for you to log in and check your own paperwork and bills or upload your own documents. Okay, and Ecomp is also meant for doctors to upload documents sent off to the Department of Labor. I'll review. owcpmed.dol.gov. That is the form of uploading to the Department of Labor. Okay, the next thing is what? The next thing is going to the Department of Labor's website and logging in, checking the status of your stuff. 3, you could also use it to upload your documents. When we come back, let's see what's next.
Do you work for the federal government? Did you get injured on the job? Did you go to a certified federal workers' compensation doctor? In order for your case to get accepted, you should only be seen on that first visit by the medical doctor, not a nurse. The history was taken by the doctor, as well as your physical exam. Your CA-17 paperwork and CA-20 should only be filled out by the doctor. For the CA-17 and 20 to be completed, you need a case number. It is a 9-digit number. If medically reasonable, the medical doctor might even order MRIs or X-rays. This is what you can expect at RiverdaleWellness.com. Please call 718-601-1540 for your consultation after your injury on the job.
If you're a federal employee who's been injured on the job, you know it's important to get your case approved by OWCP to get wage loss compensation and medical care. However, the paperwork can be tricky. At Nassau Queens Medical Care PLLC, we specialize in getting you the medical attention you need right away. With over 12 years' experience in treating federal employees who are injured on the job, our doctors are experts in OWCP regulations, procedures, and forms. Our medical team diagnoses, evaluates, and treats injured workers for their injuries. Dr. Eisen has helped countless injured federal workers get better and led their cases. Your case is too important to let an inexperienced doctor who does not master OWCP paperwork mess it up. Trust us to establish your case with OWCP so you can get all the benefits and treatment you deserve. Call us at 718-316-6870 or visit our website, fedmedny.com, to schedule an appointment today.
Good afternoon, everybody, and we have with us Dr. Deborah Eisen. Thank you for joining us on our Injured Federal Workers podcast. Anyway, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you for having me. Again, my name is Dr. Deborah Eisen, and I'm a family doctor. I've been treating federal workers who've been injured on the job for over 10 years. And people come to us, to me, in my 2 practices, both in Riverdale and Queens, as soon as they get injured, and we help them through the process.
Okay. What is the one thing that you noticed that most federal patients have difficulty with?
Well, they don't know the forms. That's always, they don't know the process. One of the things that I think is important to tell patients is, as soon as you get injured, to fill out the CA1 and make sure that everything that you're complaining of gets written down on the form.
Okay. So, like, for instance, one of the things that I've been speaking about in the podcast is stop what you're doing, get evaluated, and then get cleared. Would you say that's a good statement to go forward?
I think so. I think, stop what you're doing and get evaluated is the most important thing. Someone once told me, it wasn't even related to injury, but I had something delivered to an office, and something was broken, but we didn't even notice it at first. And the guy said to us later, just write everything down. You don't have to put in the complaint if you realize that it's not broken, but try and get everything on the paper that's down, because you'll have a harder time later saying, oh, it was broken. So the same thing here is make sure you put everything down on paper. You could always say, no, I'm feeling better. It really wasn't an injury. But as long as you get it all on paper from the beginning, that's the important thing, I think.
Right. So that's why I say stop, get evaluated, and then get cleared, because what would happen is something might go from being a traumatic injury to an occupational disease claim because they dragged it out and they said, oh, I've been having it for 3 months. Now you have an occupational disease claim. It's just a simple example, right, of something that dragged on, making it harder and harder and harder to deal with and manage.
I work with them. Yeah.
Right. Do you have an interesting story that you don't mind sharing with the audience dealing with federal workers' comp and the experiences that you've had?
Yeah, sure. I had been taking care of this is an interesting one because it has to do with the OWCP way of thinking. I had been taking care of a patient and as a regular medical patient in another office, and he came to see me. He was a federal worker who was injured on the job, and he came to see me because he was injured. And on the CA1, he had put down that he fell forward, face forward, but he actually injured his knee. And he meant to say just that that instead of falling backward, I fell forward. But I think he never wrote down that he injured his knee when he fell forward, and he just said fell face forward. So when the narrative was written and we wrote that the knee was injured, they didn't want to accept it because even though he fell forward and injured his knee, he didn't say the knee. He said fell forward, and that to them was unacceptable. They wanted to hear then that his face was injured, not that his knee was injured. So it's important, very specific.
So being very specific on a CA1, being very specific on what you tell the medical doctor, being very specific on whatever the injury is, so that that injury and only that injury gets treated or evaluated, examined.
Correct.
Okay. Do you mind sharing your web address, your phone number, if any prospective patients want to reach out to you?
Sure. So you can reach me at in my Queens office at 718-316-6870. And the website is FedMedNY, FedMedNY.com. And I also have a Riverdale office, and you can reach me at 718-601-1540.
Wonderful, wonderful. So before we go and go to commercial break, is there any like last minute thoughts or ideas that you just want to share with the audience?
As soon as you're injured, not to wait. There are people who say, I didn't think it was a big deal, and so I didn't tell anyone for a day or two until it just got worse and worse. And the idea is, just tell your supervisor, fill out the form. If it's not a big deal, it doesn't go anywhere. If it is a big deal, well, you've told someone right away, because as soon as you wait, you start to be less believable. And this isn't just healthcare. Oh, I hurt, so I go to my doctor and get better. This is workers' comp, where there's a lot of legalities involved, and we have to do everything right.
I ditto that sentiment, and I think the audience has, in all our podcasts, get the idea of no matter what happens, stop what you're doing, get evaluated, and get cleared. Have a good one, audience. We'll be right back after these words.
Are you suffering because you got hurt on the job? Are you struggling to find a doctor who knows how to navigate DOL and OWCP paperwork? In order to get your case to get accepted, you need a narrative from your medical doctor. When you see the doctor and they're writing a narrative report for you, the narrative report will include: 1. Did you file timely? 2. Are you a federal employee? 3. What are the facts of the injury? 4. Did it happen during the performance of duties? And the last one, which is so important and crucial to your case getting accepted, it says establish. 5. Causal relationship, which means the medical evidence establishes that the diagnosed condition is causally related to the injury or event that occurred specifically to you. Please call to see if we can help you with the medical paperwork and recover from those injuries, as we have 2 decades worth of experience, and check out our Google reviews